for anybody listening to this who maybe wants to start their own business, it's not a bad thing to look for a business partner that can complement your skills. I'm super grateful. Mike, if you're listening, super grateful for you, man. Couldn't do this without you, buddy. It's crazy. Like,
yeah,
our duo is like...
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Moving the Mountain, a creative leadership podcast. Today, we have our favorite guest back on for the third time in 2 seasons.
Is it third?
Owner, operator of Focus Forward and Neilan Media, Mike Neilan. Mike, how you doing?
Golf clap.
And this week, every day or every week, we do a different drink.
Topo Chico.
This week, it's Topo Chico. Probably shouldn't have said it like that. And it is Twist of Lime.
That's good.
Not bad.
I like it. It's
Yeah.
not too sweet. Just enough.
Nice hint of lime.
It's good.
So Mike spells his name N-I-E-L-A-N, and I've been spelling it. No, he spells it
I spell it
N-E-I-L-A-N, even though the rule of thumb is I before E except after C, but in this case,
Yeah.
except after N. So, just to get you up to speed, Mike recently got married over the weekend. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
How long were you with your wife before you married her?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Super nice. You know, we spent some time with Monica together. Wedding was great. Had it at
So
the
much
Atlantic. Is it the Atlantic Resort? Is it called?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. So much fun.
And yes, the photos are ready. The photos are
I
ready.
can't believe that. That's crazy.
What is that? A 4-day turnaround? 5-day turnaround?
Yeah, it'd be 5.
5-day.
And you guys usually, well, I know you used to tell me that you give everybody Monday off, but is that like in season? Like that'd be like in the summer?
They had Monday off. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Zach actually tried to take Tuesday off too.
Didn't happen.
Can't happen. I just
He
can't.
said, no. My buddy Mike Neilan got married. We really got to get his
We
photos
gotta get
done.
these photos out. And
That's funny.
you know, they went through the same. There was a lot of photos. You had 8,000 photos
Yeah,
from your
I know.
wedding, and Tiana culled down, I think, just over 1,200.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I guess
quite a few. And you had Brett,
Yeah.
so you had the assistant that you didn't want.
Okay, well,
that I knew you needed. That you couldn't.
You know what's funny is, like,
resist.
looking back, I didn't, like looking back, I don't know why I was like,
Well, it's another person you don't know at your wedding.
yeah, I guess. And I think part of me was like, you know, we wrote out the cards with the tips for everybody. And honestly, really, that was it. Because, like, we had way extra food. So, like, I wasn't worried about, like, an extra plate.
Yeah.
Because we were already plenty filled there. So, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, he was. He's been training. He's actually my brother.
I know. Dude, he looks
recently took him on.
wicked comfortable. Like,
Yeah?
like he doesn't look like he's...
Training.
He looks like he knows what he's doing.
His photos were great. Like,
good.
and I don't say that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, they were great. And
That's cool.
yeah, so you got some
He's a
extra
cool
photos.
guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Is he your younger?
He is my youngest brother.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's
I'm probably
funny is
closest to him.
he did something. I don't know if he told you. He did something like he had like a mannerism
Mm-hmm.
that was like couldn't have been more of what you would have done. Like we were getting in for like a group photo and we were talking about. I wish I remembered like what it was, but Monica said something that it wasn't weird, but like. She was like, oh, yeah, I see him all the time, or I do this all the time, or like, oh, yeah. And, like, it wasn't, like, we knew what she meant, but, like, it also sounded funny. And so your brother went, that's weird. Like, and I watched him do it.
I can picture him saying that, yeah.
I
You can see his
watched
face.
him do it, and I was like, oh, my God, that's literally what Sean would have said. But you weren't nearby. started cracking up, and I told him, and he laughed.
That's so funny. He said something like very similar to that. He has like this very soft-spoken, subtle sense of humor that if like you're just like, he'll say something and you're just like, huh, that was really funny. He said something like that today, and like Zach like started laughing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's been very solid. He actually was a plumber before this, and he just wanted to get out of the space. And it's funny because we sent him on like the first wedding, and you know, people grumble a little bit, you know, long day and this and that, but he's like, this is great.
That's cool.
You know, like he's usually getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, like lugging heavy things up and down stairs, and you know,
he seemed like a natural.
Cold. Oh yeah, yeah, he was great. I mean, he used to do the photo booth for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he had a little bit of experience.
Was he your brother whose friend helped you install the sink? Is that brother?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
Small world.
So since we last had you on, Neilan Media has done quite a bit more. Booking a lot more weddings this year. Focus forward. You guys have a lot of content rolling out. I know you recently hired a lot of people.
Yep.
Someone doing your social media, and it's been great.
Yeah.
What I've really liked to see lately coming out of Focus Forward was these Fridays at Focus Forward. And I thought a lot about them at first. I was just like, man, like they're spending a lot of money like putting this out. And I talked to recently are you insulted by that?
No.
I'm like, yeah, kind of like a little bit of a waste. Like I wouldn't think to do that because, all right, what is the ROI on that, you know?
Yeah.
And I was talking to your groomsmen, also your business partner. Oh, by the way, a small little segment over here. They were roasting me because the group shots of the guys, the groomsmen walking, in every shot, I'm like 4 steps ahead of you. Like, what is this, Sean's like wedding here? There's one where it just like looks like I'm like the main character in this.
You loved it. You loved it. You had a good time.
I did keep saying like I'm trying to make this wedding about me. But
yeah.
It was a joke, but anyway.
That's funny.
Anyway, back to so the ROI on these videos every week, and I talking to your groomsman Mike, which is also your business partner, for those guys that don't know, and he's like, well, actually, like the whole point of it is to kind of showcase the company culture, to attract more people that want to work here, to show that's like a good place to work and it's fun and the camaraderie and all that. Yeah. And I was like, all right, that's pretty smart. And then he went even further with it. And do you know this?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm learning.
He went even further with it, and he was just like, yeah. And he's like, eventually, I'm gonna be having Trent, who's the one that edits it, actually price it out.
Huh.
Like, what's it cost you to edit it? What's it cost you? Like, and each person has an hourly rate.
Oh, okay.
So like, all right, you're gonna bring Mike on. Here's his hourly rate. You're gonna bring this person on. Like, here's their hourly rate. You have to budget the project. Like, what does it actually cost to make
I actually
this film?
remember him telling me about that once.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's really good. So it's like a training opportunity for, some of the younger guys at the company who are like kind of learning how to like price out a project and like, learning also too like the value of things where it's like, oh, okay, this is actually costing the company a lot of money just to make this, and maybe make them more aware of like company time and clients time and all that stuff.
What's worth it and what's not.
So I thought that was huge.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I remember too, when we first started, obviously it was just Mike and I, and we would have like one person, maybe 2 employees. But when it got to a point where like Mike and I were always really busy with bigger tasks and more important things, I remember the conversation Mike and I had when he was like, hey, I'm thinking we should really make Trent like almost in charge of Fridays, and it's his job to make sure that it gets done every week on time.
Now, without like a reminder or anything?
Right, yeah. So at the beginning, we could see him not struggle, but, try to find his way in it. There were some times he got like really stressed throughout the week, like trying to put it together. And obviously it's a low pressure thing. So if it doesn't get done, it's not the end of the world for us. But it was more of like the principle. So we would talk to him and be like, hey, what's going on? Like, let us help. What's your challenges right now? So he'd be like, oh, well, I'm really stressed now. Like, I need to get like content for Fridays, and like I don't know what to do. And we're like, we'd help him get through it. But it's cool now. And we would even tell him like, you're in charge of Fridays, so like if you need, someone to film some content for it, like tell them. If you need a graphic for it, tell Siobhan. If you want to do this, like get somebody to help you with it. Like it's your project every week almost.
Yeah, so a person on our team, a similar situation, not Friday Focus Forwards, but or something similar to that, but they had mentioned, well, hey, I want to do all these other creative things, right? I want to pull in staff from the photo department. I want to pull in this person, but they have such tight deadlines, right? I mean, we're trying to do same week turnaround time for, our clients' weddings. They're like, when I go to pull on these people, they're like, they can't. They don't have the time. Right. Do you run into that issue at Focus Forwards?
I don't think so. No? I guess not. I don't think we've ever really run into that where that's happened. I think we all know what we're working on. I mean, there's been a couple weeks here and there, I think, that we just maybe skipped a week of Fridays because we were too busy. And it just became a communal decision. We were getting really busy, and either Mike or I said like, hey, you know what, this week is really crazy. We have a lot of other projects going on. Like, just skip a week. We'll just pick it back up next week. So I think, obviously at the end of the day, the client work comes first. So if it gets to a point like that, we'll make that decision and just skip Fridays.
Yeah. But I love the idea of like passing that to somebody, low stakes, and seeing if they take ownership of it or not. Yeah. It's just like, hey, it's on you. If it happens, hey, you did it. Right. Great job. You made it work. And how good of a product is it? Because I've also seen it evolve. When it first started, right, the editing was like a little bit rough and like, it wasn't too much. But over, I don't know how many like months you've been doing it now. Yeah. The intro got better, the shots got better, the transitions got better. Yeah. Even I feel like the story, like just the flow, like it's really improved. It's cool. Yeah. They're now enjoyable to watch.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm glad to see like, Mike just being like so thoughtful about that, and like he's very business minded. Yeah. And I think like some of your strengths are just like I think people just like love being around. I feel like you're a great leader because people like love being around you, like you're very personable. Like I love that you had your employees at your wedding, like, and they kind of came up to me too. They were like, the way they talk about you, like you can tell that they like really care about you, so it doesn't seem like you're too much of like a hard, leader to get along, probably very encouraging and that kind of thing. Is that something that just kind of comes naturally to you?
I think so. I've always been really friendly, so that's like not a problem. But I would say one of my I think in business maybe it's a weakness, but one of my weaknesses is like I'm very afraid of like conflict. I hate conflict. Yeah. And in business, obviously you run into conflict
every day.
In some way, every day. Sometimes they're little, sometimes they're big. Right. And they could be very important and they could be not important. But in some ways, I feel like you're always running into conflict. So I think I've just had to learn how to deal with it. And so just always being friendly and like personable, but not wanting to create conflict, I feel like that has helped. I've always tried to find like, not the easiest, but the least difficult way out of something, like a solution that is the least painful. Right. I guess is the way I would explain it.
For yourself or like both parties?
Both parties, honestly, but I think more for the other person. Because like if I have to suffer a little, like that's fine.
You'll deal with it, yeah.
But yeah, like for someone else, I'd rather it be a little bit easier for them.
Yeah, and would you like when it comes to like maintaining company culture, right? You want people to be happy, right? You want the the team showing up,
Right.
good attitude, happy
Yeah.
to be there, grateful. But you also want things to get done, right? You have
course.
responsibilities, you have commitments to your clients, all that stuff. Like they got to carry a certain amount of quality and care, diligence, timeliness. How do you balance that with, hey, I want to keep my employees happy, but I also want to keep my clients happy, and have deadlines, all that stuff, make sure we're like hitting our goals, be growing as a company.
Yeah.
How do you feel like you walk that line?
Honestly, like with time, I think it's just constantly learning and evolving of what's realistic. I think in a sense of like timelines, like getting work done on time for clients, like we've always been really upfront about that with the clients and with our team. So, say we shoot a project and we say like 3 weeks later, we're going to have the first draft. If we can sense that the team is, maybe not going to hit it, Mike or I will take it over and make sure that it gets to that.
Okay, so you might carry it across the finish line. Okay.
Yeah. Other times, if it's just a realistic, like it's actually just taking a little bit longer and it's not like their fault, we'll try to communicate that with the client. Just make sure there's not any other deadlines that, beyond them, it's more important. It could be above their head. So we'll try to communicate with them and say, hey, it's taking maybe a little bit longer. We're thinking, maybe a week later or whatever it is, and just make sure that there's no problem there. If there is, obviously, we'll try to pick up the slack. And if not, then we'll just keep pushing the team and get it done.
And the third scenario, right, where maybe someone wasn't focused or like, it was, their own fault that like a deadline didn't. How do you approach that? Is it something you kind of overlook it? You just like, overlook this, give it grace. Hopefully you hit the next deadline. Or do you feel like things need to be confronted on a regular basis?
We try to address it at least in some way. That way it's out there and they understand and they know what's going on. So, but again, going back to like me being afraid of conflict, like I'll try to address it in the least like harsh way possible.
Who does? Is it you or the other Mike?
It really depends. Sometimes it's both of us. A lot of times we attack things together, just to have that good cop, bad cop. So yeah, but yeah, so we'll try to address it right up front, and just gently, like, hey, look, like, we notice like you're getting a little bit distracted, or this project needs to get done, and it needs to get done in a certain amount of time, and we want to have a good environment here and have fun, but we still got to kind of stay on track and work hard. So just kind of keep that in mind moving forward. We just try to like, we don't want to like beat people up. We're all humans.
Right.
Like Mike and I understand that we get distracted too, but we just want to remind them, work hard, play hard. But
yeah, I remember last time we talked, like, cell phones in the workplace were like a huge issue, right? Big distraction, right?
Yeah.
And it is annoying. It was annoying. I remember like feeling frustrated, and I had to stop focusing on it and start focusing on like, what don't I want and what do I want? And it was just like, I don't care what you do, right? Here's what I need to get done, and here's what I need it by. And I felt like that shift, like, and I had to be like a little bit demanding about it, but like I felt like that shift like really helped. Like, all right, now we're hitting our deadlines, we're hitting, and like the quality's there, right? So it's like, if you're getting done what we need to get done as a team to succeed, right, then does it matter, right, that you're checking your phone, going on Instagram? Like I do that. I need the break, get up and walk around or whatever.
We all do.
So, and that's been actually like really helpful, like healthy, like too, for my mindset of like, it's like you don't want to continually be like
micromanaging,
irritated, at work too,
I mean, it hurt. I feel like it hurts. I wouldn't say it hurts both people, but the more you're berating them or like addressing it, the more stress you're getting.
Right.
Like, luckily for us, knock on wood, like that problem is a thing of the past. But yeah, like the more we had to address it, the more it
How did you
stressed
solve
us out.
that issue? And like, do you allow cell phones in your office? Like, do you?
Well, that particular problem was a previous employee. So,
Oh, really?
in that particular scenario, we let go of that person.
Is that why they're no longer at your company?
No, it was a mix of things. It was several issues.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, luckily, I think we just haven't had that issue. That particular person was 4 to 5 years younger, hadn't gone through college yet, hadn't really had much work experience.
Right.
So,
And I think that's the thing, that I think some people can take things as an attack, right? But at the end of the day, I think any good leader, you want your people to succeed, right? So anything that you're giving them is valuable advice for them to succeed, whether it's with you or, anywhere else. You want the company to succeed. You want them to succeed. If they succeed, the company succeeds. So it's like, I think some people can take things as an attack, though, and it's I think a better mindset, though, is to, if you're working for someone that like you respect or trust, hopefully you take things like, all right, well, I care about this person, I look up to this person, or I respect this person, so what they're saying, I'm gonna like actually take it to heart, and maybe they're seeing something I'm not seeing, or it's good advice, or that kind of thing. Yeah,
I think we're lucky. We have a really solid team that I think thinks like that. Like when I was 22, 23, like, and still, I mean, I'm not perfect. I have my imperfections. But like,
see us driving.
Yeah, we won't go there. We had team meetings, like employee meetings, like a couple months ago, and
like one-on-ones.
Yeah, and just a couple, like, I don't know how you would say it, like tips for them. We had 1 or 2 tips for a couple of them, and some of them came in and had already known that was something they needed to improve. So like they would come in and they say, so I'm really happy here. I know I need to improve like my time management, and we were like, okay, took the words right out of our mouth. Like, great. So like that self-awareness was really good, but they listened to it very like understandably, and they're like, all right, great, like, cool. And like, because we understand, like, we're not like attacking you. Like, look, or none of us are perfect. Like,
right. We're all trying to grow.
Mike and I own the company, and we're not perfect.
Right.
We all have different strengths and weaknesses. So, Anyway, we have a good team that just understands that when we're how do you say it? Not criticizing. Feedback. When we're providing feedback, it's for the best perspective, like it's for the better.
I think people who are like receptive to feedback, the more receptive to feedback you are, I feel like the further the further and faster you can kind of go.
Yeah.
It's when if someone gets like bitter, resentful, or it's just like resistant, then it's just like, then it's a difficult situation.
I can be pretty bad at getting feedback sometimes.
Getting feedback?
Oh yeah.
Really? What kind? Like from creative stuff?
Like driving down the road, and Monica was like, "You are crazy. You need to slow down."
The driving, yeah.
And I get, "No, I'm fine."
That's a good example, because it's like you could be driving with someone, right, and they're making you feel like so at risk.
Yeah.
But you don't want to say anything because you don't want to like hurt their feelings. It's just like, I feel like my life is in danger right now, but I'm not going to say anything because like they might get offended,
Yeah. No, Monica doesn't worry about that.
Yeah. Well, she's comfortable with you.
Yeah.
You guys are married now. So
yeah.
She can say it. But there's been a few friends where I'm like, bro, you got to stop. I said to my friend Kevin, he got the Tesla and he was just driving like a jerk. And I was like,
I know I'm definitely like, I'm not a cautious driver. I'm very aggressive, I would say. Not very, but I'm aggressive.
I think it kind of depends, like, what kind of driver your passenger is, too. Because I'm the kind of driver where, like, I drive kind of slow and I leave, like, a lot of room. I like to just kind of, like, relax. Like, I'm all about the journey. Yeah.
Enjoy the journey is what you told me.
Yeah.
One time we drove up to
That
New
was, like, my
Hampshire.
way of being, like, nice about it.
No, yeah.
Like, just enjoy the journey.
For the listeners, Sean and I took a trip up to New Hampshire about a month or so ago to pick up a few computers at the Apple store in New Hampshire. And I drove my car, and so he sat in the passenger seat on the way up. And as soon as we got there, he was like, "Yeah, you want me to drive on the way back?" And I was like, I mean, it's an hour and a half. Like, you don't have to. I don't mind. He's like, no, let me drive. It's fine. And so I was like, okay. So we drove, and my now wife calls me, and she's just saying, hey, you know, what time are you going to be home? And so it's on speaker, and so Sean's talking, and Sean goes, I had to drive. And then she goes, I know, he's crazy, isn't he? And then you go, I enjoy the journey. This guy's over here beeping and honking and slamming the brakes and slamming the gas.
It's a traumatic experience.
Oh, my God. So dramatic.
But, yeah, some people are, they're sensitive about their driving. So you try to, like, hey, what's the best way to broach the criticism, We got a little off track there.
Yeah, we were talking about feedback, receiving feedback.
Yeah. I feel like typically whenever you're on the podcast, we do talk about like employees, because I feel like managing employees is the hardest part about our jobs.
It's a whole nother ballgame.
And the bigger you scale, that's 99% of the job is just like managing the people.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy how little, like having a team, it's crazy how little work that I do that actually relates to our business.
Yeah.
Like our core products and services. Like it's ridiculous.
Half the time I feel useless. I'm like, because I feel like I should be working the way I used to work. But now it's like, you can't. You're like making sure the work is now getting done.
Yeah.
You're
like an HR person almost.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Any recent things that you kind of like, big aha moments as far as like managing people where it's just like, hey, this really like worked and it made life easier, things more efficient? No? Okay. Moving on.
I'm trying to think. I don't think so. Nothing.
You know what I do like? Because I talked to your employees like one-on-one at the wedding, and
did your own little one-on-ones.
I did some one-on-ones.
Nice.
I tried to solicit some feedback, and what I did hear was that moving into the new space was like really improved like company culture.
It's crazy.
Big time.
Yeah. It's like the elephant in the room. It was like a silent thing that happened, and all of a sudden, like everybody was like, "Whoa!"
Like super happy.
Hell yeah!
They're
Yeah,
like, this is great. Like they like love being there. And your last space wasn't bad.
No, our last space was great.
Like it had an AC.
It did, yeah. We had central air, big ceilings.
Yeah.
It was cool.
But your new office is very impressive. Like it feels. I want an office like that. It feels like it's
like
it's
legit.
It feels legit. You guys have your own offices. Like you got the conference room, all that stuff. Like it feels very legit. Plus it's downtown.
It's got all the pieces, and
downtown, and you don't have to pay for parking.
It's in a great area. We got the parking lot. It really like checks all the boxes. We were super pumped about it. So it was a long time coming. So we're excited.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
everybody was like ecstatic. It was like kind of crazy. We were like pumped, obviously. We were excited, but when we went around and like asked everybody, they were like, oh my God, it's so much better. And we were like, whoa, okay, like cool. And they're like, yeah, I feel more productive, and I feel like this is really our place. And like they just, I don't know. It was crazy. We were like, all right, well, sweet. That was a good investment then.
See, and that's really what, that's like definitely a goal of mine. You want, for some reason, like you want people to be happy.
Oh yeah. It goes back to what you said. Like if they're successful, the company's successful.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, I want people. I'm always feel like like a barometer, like for other people's hands, like, you know, are they happy? Are they
okay?
happy?
Is she okay?
You know? But I feel like that is like my biggest pain point, biggest challenge is like, you know, wanting to keep happy, but also being able to hold the line.
Yeah.
And making sure we're being responsible too. I want you to be responsible and happy.
Yeah, it can be hard because you know, if somebody isn't happy, you almost have to like, all right, what's going on? Like, let's do some detective work here. What's going on? What's causing this?
Right.
How can we fix it quickest way possible? Is it us? Is it the work? Is it, you know, is it another employee? Like, who knows? And you like have to figure it out.
Yeah, sometimes that does happen. You know, someone's having an off day, and sometimes it's just an off day.
Of course.
But sometimes like it's an off day, or you know something happened, and you're like, hey, like what's up? Everything okay? You know, sometimes it's a personal issue,
right?
But sometimes it's like, well, like, you know, I just like someone said something to him, and it's just like, geez, like, you know, I didn't even know that was said, like.
Yeah.
And then, but that's what I mean. Like, it's the work, I feel like in the office is like 10%. The rest is people.
Yeah. Especially as a leader, I think.
Yeah.
Mostly as a leader. It's going from, you know, having a business and like doing the work to then like actually having employees. It's like, oh, wow. Like that's a whole nother like business in itself. It's like trying to, not a business, but you know, like managing people is a whole nother thing than running a company.
Yeah. You must like it though.
Yeah, it's challenging. I've you know, had my fair share of challenges, but
right. But that's what you like about it, right? It's like you like it because it's challenging.
Yeah, I don't think I feel like I've never been one for just coasting.
Yeah.
I like the highs and I don't like the lows, but you know, you do.
Yeah.
It keeps it interesting, and I think it's like I'm only 27 and I'm learning all these things. Like, it's cool. Not to like toot my own horn or anything, but it's just like to be able to have these experiences, learn all these things at my age, I feel like is really cool.
Running a business is like being in a pressure cooker, you know?
Elaborate, please.
Well, like you are just forced to learn all these things, or else the thing you're counting on to survive will blow up. So it's like,
I love that.
Yeah, you have to like continually improve or suffer, you know, or continue suffering.
I gotta tweet this.
Get it out there. Let's run it up.
Like,
Jamie, run it up.
That's a good one.
Was
I
that
like
good?
that. Yeah.
Should we end the podcast now? We got
Perfect
the content.
ender right there.
All right, Josh, cut that on TikTok, and that's a wrap.
No, I really like that because it's so true. Because you have a company, and if a challenge comes up, you either have to figure it out, or like, what are you gonna do? You quit? Like,
right.
You have to figure it out.
Right.
You have to get to the end and like,
yeah. Usually you
resolve
can't quit, and I think that's the big difference between a business owner and an employee. Is an employee can like, they don't like something, things get tough or whatever, they find something better, boom, all right, I'm quitting. A business owner,
what am I gonna do?
Things get bad. Yeah. How many wedding contracts do you have to fulfill for next year? You know, 50?
Not even that, but like, if I were to, because I have a partner, a business partner, like the whole process, like, I'm gonna sell my half of the company. I got to talk to lawyers, go to court. Do you have to go to court? I don't know. Tell my employees that I'm leaving. What am I going to do after this? It's
probably people like
I would rather figure out the challenge.
Like, yeah, people not getting divorced just because like they're like, I'd have to like go to a lawyer and like, you know, it's just I'm just gonna remain unhappy here.
Yeah,
we'll work it out.
Yeah, oh, that's funny. No, but yeah, no, that's a really good point. Like, if you want to keep running your business, but you have to resolve this challenge, all the challenges that come up.
Yeah, everyone. And like
there's always going to be new ones.
Yeah, and I feel like problems don't really go away. You know, you might be able to buy a little bit of time, but eventually, like, you have to look at that issue.
Oh yeah.
You know, sometimes they get bigger too. So it's like,
yep.
You know, hopefully, fires aren't popping up at a rate that you can't figuring them out, but some take time too.
One of my favorite stories, which now it's been several years, so I am a lot more comfortable talking about it. We had a big client. 4 years ago was the first time we worked.
Sorry, is that the Morning Brew socks that you're wearing?
Yeah, you like those?
You pitch me this company all the time. I get like spammed by you from.
You know what's funny is I don't even read them anymore. I have 100 of their newsletters in my inbox.
It's stocks, right?
No, it's like it's just like a business newsletter that they send out every morning. It's pretty interesting, but
most people will have the T-shirt.
I used to have more time.
Or the mug.
Really? I do have the mug at home.
You have the socks.
I have the socks. I got them as a gift.
What's with you in socks?
Dude, I don't know. Hold on.
Special socks for your wedding. Yeah. Put them up there. There they are.
Check those puppies
Morning Brew. I don't know what it is.
I like fun socks. I don't know. I have ones with ice cream cones on them.
You're a man who's all about the giveaway, though. Like, I'm always getting tagged in things that are being given away, reposting.
Well, I got to tag somebody, and you're my first victim.
Sign up for this.
Yeah.
Sign up for that.
Yeah. Conflict. So, yes, we had this client that we worked with for the first time about 4 years ago, and then again a year later. And they were a very large company, so their payment terms were net 30. Mm-hmm. And, being a small business, you're not used to that. So, boom, there's a thing right there. How do you deal with that? A lot of companies would say, okay, well, we're not doing any work until we get paid, which is understandable.
It's typical. Now, they didn't even do like 50% up front before you started the project?
No, so and this is another thing, like you learn, you adapt, you face challenges. At that point, our payment terms, we had been in business at that point probably 6-7 months. Our payment terms were 50-50, so half up front, half when the job's done. Then we faced this conflict, and we wanted to bill them for half. And they said, oh, well, usually we do a third up front, and then a third partway through the project, and then a third at the end. So we said, okay, that seems reasonable. Cool.
It's funny, though, like as a business owner, you have practices that you go by. It's like, and usually the business sets, like I don't go to my chiropractor and he says, hey, you pay up front for the visit. And I'm like, well, no, I'll pay after the visit.
Right. You're going to pay up front.
Right. You usually adhere to like whatever their policy is.
Right. That's what you would think. And so at first we just said, well, we sent the invoice and had the due date on it. And I think that's what clicked for them. And they said, oh, we noticed this due date. The shoot is next week and our payment terms are net 30. And we're like, okay, well, by that time, like the project's almost done and we'll have had no money. So we just carefully discussed it with them, just openly. And so anyway, we ended up for a long time. And for now, we changed our payment structure. So we're a third. Because a lot of our projects require some upfront work. Then we shoot some stuff. Then we edit. And then we deliver. So there's a lot of time in the middle. So we do a third. And then once we shoot, we do another third. And then.
Do you send final assets over before payment and then they pay you once they get it, or? Typically,
we wait for that final payment.
So you say, hey, your project's done.
Yeah, here's the invoice. But what we've also gotten a lot more used to doing is doing credit card payments. So we use an online payment processor and we just send it right through there. That way we're not waiting. Oh, did you mail the check? Okay, you mailed it? All right, let's wait 5 days and let's see if it comes in. Oh, nope, it's stuck in the mail. Where is it? I would say a majority of our payments now are through credit cards.
We've only, in a few instances, have had a client not pay us before. And the 2 times that it's happened, it's just a nightmare. It's like you wait forever, you gotta always be following up. Hey, we have one project right now where it's done. Not only the photos, but the video.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You're still waiting.
It's like, hey, your stuff is done.
Yeah. It's tough. And you want to be accommodating. At least me as a business owner, like, I'm not coming from a malicious standpoint, but like, I've done this shit before. This has happened to me in the past. One of my first wedding videos I ever done.
Right.
The bride tried to hold the $500 that was remaining over my head while I did like 6 rounds of edits for them. And then, she was basically like, she had placed the stop payment on the check that she had given me the first time. So then my money bounced, and I was like, okay. So it was a nightmare.
It's brutal.
Nightmare. Now, I'm not saying like everybody is like her, but it's just like, why would I even want to risk running into that?
Right.
You know?
That's the thing. And like, as you start to do volume and have more clients, like, you don't have time to be.
It's not worth it.
It's not.
It's not worth the headache of even
Yeah.
like the thought of dealing with that.
Right. So it's like, that's why you have.
Like policies.
Practices
I
and
hate the word
policies,
policies, but it is what it is.
I know. I've been thinking like the sensitivity of language lately, where it's just like,
crazy.
you know, referring, like, I was thinking about it, talking to a client, and it's just like, well, your contract states like, our agreement.
Agreement. That's a good one.
You know, it's
Good word,
like,
agreement.
it's way more friendly, I think.
A lot more neutral.
But why don't you tell me a little bit about like what you guys are up to, what you guys are doing? I know you guys just hired a bunch of people. You just bought a bunch of new gear. You got this great new space. Like, what is the goals for Focus Forward and Neilan Media? What are you guys looking to do? What are you looking to get to? You know, how many employees do you want?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this year. We have 51 weddings for the year, which I'm really like kind of pissed about. I really want 52 so that I can say we have, you know, one for every week of the year.
How many you just one? You need one more?
We need one more. Yeah.
I'm sure you get that, right?
Yeah. No, we will. But yeah, so we got about 51 weddings. So I'm really excited. And me personally, I've actually been able to scale back the amount that I myself am shooting, which is good. I'm really happy about that. The team has grown and they've really, really improved. Shout out to Lex. I just actually delivered a video today.
She was great.
She's awesome. And even Trent edited the video, but Lex, there's a shout out for both of them here. Just delivered a video today that I watched, and just like on point. Like the edit was just like so solid, like flowed perfectly. Every shot was like intentional, smooth. The edit was nice. The color looked good. Just like really well done. And Lex did the groom prep, and she like crushed it. Absolutely crushed it.
She shot the groom prep?
She did, yeah. It was like, even Mike said something. And it's just really, really cool to see from like where she started with us, which was still very solid, like right out the gate. But to now, like, it was so good. It's really good. And then Trent just did a killer job editing it.
I love that. I feel like that's my favorite thing, is to see people grow.
See the improvement.
See the improvement and the confidence go up, and like be able to go into new like scenarios, circumstances, and like just be able to handle themselves, execute well.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so that was good. Like, really excited about the team. The team's doing really well. Dylan, our newest addition, he's great. He was at my wedding last weekend, looking sharp in his suit. First time he'd ever been to a wedding, he said, and worn a suit, so that was cool. But he's doing really good. He came in January as a junior, basically like a junior video editor, and just impressed us right away. He's quick. Dude can move fast, and he just gets in, sits down, puts his head down, works, and that's it. So he's a really good kid. Noah's always good. Siobhan is good. She's always improving herself and trying to do more and get her hands into more things.
Do you feel like your team members like really kind of sense, like have that camaraderie where it's just like, hey, we're on the ground level of something, we're building something like very unique, and like this is kind of like the incubator stage, where it's like there's a lot of potential here, and that the ROI on this could be really good because I'm getting in on the ground level. Do you feel like employees like sense that, or it's just like, this is a job and it's a job into my next job?
No, that's a good question. I have noticed every once in a while, one of them, like, I remember like early on when Trent started, the way he would talk would be not like, I don't want to say like he was like an owner, but he talked like he really was involved in the company, which I thought was awesome. He would be like, yeah, you know, I want to do more of this so that I can free up your time so you can focus on bigger things, and I can help, you know, I want to follow you on phone calls. I love hearing
that, like someone who is supporting the leader, you know, someone who's like, that should really be it. My friend Kevin was actually saying that to me last night. He's like, you know, their employee's role is really to like help support the leader, like take things off their plate.
Yeah, so he did that like really early on, and I've still noticed him do it every once in a while with Mike or I, like with certain things. And then Siobhan, like she'll talk about the company sometimes, and she'll be like, "Yeah, it's really cool. Like we work in a lot of industries. Like we're not just in construction or just in So yeah, I think overall they do feel like, hey, this is something small, but like we're gonna be big someday. Like it's gonna be cool.
Well, because imagine being the first 5, out of 100 employee company.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, like, there's this saying of, like, being the first couple at, like, Facebook. But, like, imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's really what it could be.
Yeah. Not that we're going to be as big as Facebook. I mean, who knows? But
you never know.
Yeah. But being those first couple people, like, yeah, exactly. Like, who knows in 5 years when we're way bigger and we have 60 employees or 100 employees, Trent and Lex and Siobhan, they'll be like, wow, yeah, like, we were the first few.
Right.
Cool.
Founding fathers.
Yeah, yeah.
George Washington.
That's right, yeah.
You're not allowed to say his name anymore.
Why is that?
No, we shouldn't even get into
it. And to camaraderie, absolutely. They, shortly after, so Trent and Lex started last March, April. And then about 8 months later, whatever October is, 8 months later or something like that, Noah and Siobhan started. And like shortly after Noah and Siobhan started, Noah came from California, so he didn't really know anybody. And like right away, him and Trent connected, became friendly. They both play video games outside of work, so like they kind of clicked. And every once in a while, like on a Friday when they were leaving, me and Mike overheard like, hey, so I'll see you there at 6:30? All right, cool. And so like right away they started going on double dates together with their girlfriends and stuff. So they like became friends, and they're like, oh yeah, Noah and I, like we're gonna go to Zaco Taco this weekend, or like we're gonna go here, and we try to encourage that too. So like every 6 months or whenever it's appropriate, we'll try to do like big team dinners, invite the significant others, just get everybody out, have dinner, have some drinks, and they love it. It's always a blast. We always have a good time, and I think they start to like become friendly. So it's cool. Like one time they all went out like a couple months ago after work. They went to the mall, and like Trent went shopping for his girlfriend and Siobhan went shopping for her boyfriend. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
They're like friends.
I love to see that, like, and hopefully the people that you hire are like people you genuinely, like, and I mean, I love coming to work, everyone, even our last guest that we had, Maggie, talking about NFTs, and she met them very briefly. She's like, wow, this seems like a great place to work. I mean, she's 34. She's probably worked in her fair share of places, and so she sees. And
I always like coming in here. I'll give you that. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
you got a good team here.
Likewise, yeah. I really enjoyed your
people. Your people are fun. They have a good time here, I think.
Jan especially.
Oh, Jan.
The dude's a hard worker.
He is a character. I love
grinder.
him.
But he's great guy.
Personality, like I got a big personality.
He's got a big personality.
He's up there. He's big, man. You remember the first commercial thing we did with Providence Bagel? And you guys on the bridge, and he was wearing the lime green jacket with the shades.
Every day it's a new outfit.
Kid was killing it.
I love that. Like, people who do like just kind of bring their own style, and
he's not afraid to be himself. That dude is himself.
Yeah, it's awesome. Inspiring too, because it makes me feel like, yeah, maybe I could like branch out a little bit more, like artistically.
I'll wear a lime green jacket
with my clothing. Maybe I should think about fashion a little bit more, as a creative. So where do you feel like you're headed next, as far as like, do you see yourself like 60 people company, 100? Is that something you want to do, or do you want to kind of keep it where it's at? Like, what are your ideas for growth?
I don't know. I don't think even at one point I saw having 5.
Right.
So I think it just naturally gets there. Like I totally envision us having at least 3, 4 more. Like I was talking today, and we're good.
Talk about like having kids.
Yeah, right. I talked about it today actually with Siobhan, because we have like a group of 4 and then Siobhan, and eventually we'll add another table to where she is when we have more people. Right now we're at a good amount of people. I think we're comfortable. We're all busy, but we're not overworked. We don't necessarily need anybody. But I was like, when we expand a little, like, let me make sure we have enough room in this little space right here. Like, Siobhan, if we push your desk back just a couple inches add one right here, push these ones a little bit. So I definitely see at least a couple more heads.
Yeah.
But
And how do you know like when it's time to hire, and who do you like? What do you feel like the next position you'd hire is?
that's a good question.
And how do you know like what that position is?
I honestly, it just comes like naturally almost. But sometimes it just comes out of opportunity. When we went to hire Trent and Alexis, we only needed one person, and Alexis came in and she was like, really had a good experience with editing podcasts, and we had a client that was podcasts for, and we were like, oh man, that's awesome. Like if we could just basically have her handle those, like that frees us up for more projects and more stuff and whatever. So that was good. But then Trent came in, and he didn't really have like a portfolio to show, but he had a good attitude. Like he was like hungry. He was like, I'll help you guys with this. I'll help you with that. Just ambitious. Like he just wanted to help. And he had went to my college, and the reason we had talked to him was because I lectured a class that he was in college after I graduated. And he was a student in the class, and so he came up to me after we exchanged information. And after that, like every 6 months, he would just send me an email and just kind of follow back up and say, hey man, like, I hope you didn't forget me. Like, if you ever need an editor or an assistant, like, let me know. I'm always, ready to work.
That's pretty good. Like people that I kind of forget about that. You need someone to give you that first opportunity.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to break into a new space, and I think maybe we take it for granted, or really forget. But to the flip side of that, how do you know when someone's like ready to move on? Where it's just like, hey, this person is like, they've grown as much as they could, kind of here.
Oh, like they're gonna leave the company.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
How do you
I don't know.
Have you like experienced that yet?
Not in a way that is like positive. We had an employee in the past who it just didn't end up being the right fit. Good kid, but just not the right fit for our kind of vibe and culture and what we want in a person.
Right.
So unfortunately it didn't work out. Good kid, and he's doing his own thing, so he's good, but it just little thing here, little thing there, little things, they add up.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm surprised more people aren't doing this, but it's a lot of work too. I think people sometimes don't see how much goes into running a business. How
it's unbelievable
how difficult it can be, and the fact that you can't quit.
Yeah. I'm stuck
too.
No. Honestly, I we have our tough days, but like I love it.
It's great.
I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
I can't.
No
like
way.
I just feel like, and I almost sometimes feel like, that's the other. Like, why aren't people doing this? Because it's like
so hard.
I was picturing myself like if I just worked here as an employee.
Imagine.
Right. If I had me as my boss, that'd be tough.
That would be tough.
God bless you.
Do you know
guys.
what you are as a boss?
No. What am I?
Just kidding.
Difficult.
Peachy.
We're gonna. Thank you. I have my moments.
We all do.
Sometimes I really shine.
Just sometimes.
Awesome.
No, but yeah, it is extremely hard. But it's possible. You can do it, but it's very challenging. I was talking about it. I was back at my college yesterday with Siobhan. Actually, we went together, and we both kind of just sat and talked to a seminar class. So our seminar class at Framingham is like, you're seniors, you're going into the workforce, and you pick a project, and this seminar class is all it is really is everybody works on their project, and just throughout the semester you give updates, and everybody kind of collaborates and tries to help each other. But mostly it's like to work on a big project that relates to your field. So when I was there, I made a small documentary all semester, and that's what I worked on. So Siobhan and I sat down and just kind of listened to these kids. They asked us questions. We talked about our backgrounds, how we got to where we are. And I was like talking about how now I'm in a position where I have 5 employees and I have a business partner. So there's a lot of help. I can lean on people. Hey, Mike, I really need help doing this thing. Do you mind jumping in for me and taking care of this? Cool. Whereas like 5 years ago, I was on my own.
Right.
I was writing the invoices. I was sending emails. I was doing the editing, taking the pictures, shooting the video.
But you look back and you're like, how did you do it?
That's literally what I say every time is I look back and say, how the hell did I do all that? All of it.
And it's such a strange transition because in the beginning, it's like you're working so much. But like me, I don't know how it was if you, I had a ton of energy.
Yeah.
I would just like.
I'd work till 1 a.m, wake up at 7, do it again.
Yeah. And it was just like I was fueled by the work and like kind of. But it's nice because like your efforts are so closely related to your progress, so you see things moving so quickly, and then I did notice, like I've been thinking about this recently, where it's like you have more and more people and you don't feel like you're moving as fast. It feels like, someone just said, they're like, it's easy to turn a speedboat. It's hard to turn like a tugboat, So it's like, you're like moving much more slowly, and it, like that pains me so much because I'm so in the mentality like go. Like everything has a sense of urgency,
right?
Which I think makes it a little bit difficult to like work for me, but that's another episode.
No, it's true though. Like I'm like you look back, I'm like, wow, like I really used to do it all. Like Mike handles our QuickBooks and our finances and makes sure it's like the credit card bills are getting paid and the utilities are getting paid and everything. And like back then I'm like, damn, I did the QuickBooks. I did like literally everything.
Yeah, everything.
Just like everything. I mean, you didn't have payroll back then. Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God, another thing, social media. I got to promote myself.
And there are obviously some things that you're strong with, right? Maybe you're good with finances. Maybe you're good with social media. Maybe you're good with photo editing. But what about video editing? There's going to be one thing,
Yeah.
For me, it was video editing, and that was the most time-consuming one.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
But
now I don't do any video editing.
Yeah, me either. I can't. I never could.
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's good. And I would say, like, for anybody listening to this who maybe wants to start their own business, it's not a bad thing to look for a business partner that can complement your skills. I'm super grateful. Mike, if you're listening, super grateful for you, man. Couldn't do this without you, buddy. It's crazy. Like, our duo is like.
Yeah, your dynamic is like perfect,
Yeah.
Mike is like he's like the street smart hustler, like business, I'll rip your head off. But you're like the very good customer service, like client facing stuff you're great with. And, I think the team like really respects you. So you guys like really balance each other out well. I kind of do wish there were times like I wish I had a business partner, especially during those like dark times.
But at your point, at least you have employees and people who've been with you longer that are not business partners, but they're up there. They're strong. You can lean on them. They're talented. Yeah.
And there's been a few of them too, where I've had to lean on them pretty heavy in those times. And it's just like they've really been there, so, super grateful for that.
Good. People are good.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of tears. To the tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
But I think like the catalyst from going from employee to business owner is risk.
Oh, yeah.
It's taking that first risk. I think for a lot of people, it's leaving their job. Sometimes you feel like you're getting pushed out and it's just your time to go. Other times I feel like you feel like you're being called, or you're just led by like an idea, passion, it's like, I really want to do this, but so many people are like tied up on security, where it's like survival, making a living.
Oh my God. Having just a steady paycheck.
Can't
say that enough. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think there's real value to that, but, it's just, I think my mindset was like life is so brief, that like you really got to live it that way. You got to take chances, you got to take some risks, or else like, you might get to your end of your life and be like, why didn't I do that?
Yeah.
And I think if you have a great job, and some people just like
Right.
being a support role, so there's like nothing wrong with that. But
Right. I see like I can understand somebody who's like, I really want to enjoy life. So I'm going to have my steady 9 to 5, make 70, 80K a year, be comfortable, and
get a sweet work from home job.
yeah, and maybe like maybe they're
Yeah, there is salsa music happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're
background.
competing with this. This is dance studio next to you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it comes through the mics, but it's beautiful
It's
music.
there. Yeah, and maybe like their family and their outside and their personal life is more important, which I think everybody's personal life should be important, right? Like it is. But I can understand where somebody just wants to have a 9 to 5 and just enjoy life the rest of the time, you know?
I've had people leave where they're just like, they have loved the company, right? Love the team, enjoyed working, but they're just like, I want to be able to leave at 5
And check out. Yeah.
I
get
this
it.
particular role was like a sales role, and it's like, you got to be available. Like, when we're trying to grow a company, like, that's something I tell my guys, like, we got to be answering leads to a certain time. A lot of couples want to take calls on Saturday. So it's like, you kind of take it home for a little bit.
So many calls that like you have to take at like 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30.
10 a.m. on a Saturday. We get those all the time.
Yeah.
And answering the leads, like, it's a competitive market. There's a lot of people, and it's like whoever gets to those leads first, people and clients nowadays, they want to be responded to right away.
Yeah.
And they want to be responded to.
They at least appreciate when
They do. Yeah. Everyone communicates
so
on their own
much.
platforms too. Some people like phones, some people like Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to cater.
You cater.
But yeah, it's the risk thing. It's true.
Yeah.
It really is. Because we can't check out at 5 o'clock.
No, we can't.
I don't know if do we ever check out?
Well, what time is it now? It's 7:45. What's kind of next for you guys? Are you guys thinking about that? Like, you got some big goals kind of happening?
I mean, not really. I feel like we're pretty, I don't know that we.
Do you guys do that kind of thing? Like set goals or anything like that? Or you just kind of work hard and
I think
content?
we kind of just work hard and we set like, I don't even know if we really like set goals. Like, I don't know. I feel like we just try to work hard and keep going and we try to grow pretty much every day. Like we're always trying to do better and get bigger and get better. But I wouldn't say like we sit down and like set specific things. I think we set like big picture things, but yeah, like I think it's random. Like we'll sit down and maybe go, hey, I was thinking like we should really do like this, or we should do this. So sometimes we'll say, hey, like this was maybe not a failed attempt, but like during COVID, we thought it would be really smart to start like a separate, not another brand, but another brand called Focus Forward Marketing. And we were like, oh, let's offer like minor like web design services and like maybe some SEO.
I think you guys had an Instagram account for that, right?
We do. And we were like, let's do social media stuff. And it'll be a whole nother brand. And we literally made like a new price sheet for like monthly like web design and SEO and social media stuff. And we built a website and we made an Instagram page. And then like coming out of COVID, I think we were trying to keep our core products in line and keep business in. So then it just kind of fell to the side. And yeah, so I don't really know where that is bringing me, but I think we'll come up with ideas, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, which is all part of like running a business. And
I think everybody
learning.
was trying to get creative during the pandemic because you needed to. But how do you feel about like a brand? I know Steer does that. I've seen a couple other brands do that where they take their brand and then they have like 3 other accounts, which I've always looked at that and I'm like, it's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Like we have other brands, like, we have Lux Booth, which is
Right.
Moon Mountain's brand, we call it. And then I think we have something else too. Forget.
Wild at Heart. Heart.
Oh, Wild at Heart. Yeah, a Move Mountains company. So it's like, that's another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, when like a company has like multiple, it's like, what web page do I go to? Like, I feel like it creates like confusion for the consumer.
I think it can, but if there's a clear distinction, I think it works.
Yeah.
So, from my understanding, you have Move Mountains, which is your core brand.
Mm-hmm.
And as you grow and as you scale, you obviously, your costs increase, so you have to increase your prices.
Mm-hmm.
So Move Mountains gets to a certain price, but now you're losing out on other business. So you say, hey, why not create this brand that we can offer a little bit more competitive price,
right.
And still give a great service. And so that's where Wild at Heart comes, right?
Right.
And then you have Lux Booth, which is like
Totally different. Yeah, photo booth.
yeah, totally different, but a brilliant like addition to Move Mountains, because what else do people do at weddings? A photo booth. And it's a cool, fun brand.
Yeah.
I think you guys do a really good job with the branding of Lux Booth. I'll say that. It's
that was
very
like a
fun
project for me, which ended up being the most like pain in the butt thing ever. It's like the most. It's very costly.
Yeah.
And it's not very profitable. And it has
But it's
the
a
most
good
problems.
addition to your.
It's a good addition.
To
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah.
You know, like it's.
And I love the branding of it.
It's very complimentary.
Yeah.
So I think if there's a clear distinction there, you know, like Wild at Heart is a clear distinction, very similar style. You try to offer a similar product, but you're able to offer it at a lower price point. So if people are, you know, maybe can't afford or, you know, whatever, they can go to Wild at Heart. Steer, I'm not too familiar, so I can't really speak to that, but.
Yeah, neither. But I know they have like, it's like Steer Films and Steer PVD.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure.
Forward.
Steer Forward, which like, what is that exactly?
But I think if you can have a clear distinction, like I guess, for example, us, we have Focus Forward Media. That's our core service. That is video production, social media, like content, basically media production. We produce videos and photos for business materials, for advertising purposes. And then we have Neilan Media, wedding photography and videography, two totally different things under one roof. If you can have clear distinctions like that, I think multiple brands can work.
Just out of curiosity, why'd you go with Neilan Media? Right, even though because it's mostly catered towards weddings. Yeah, you're making a face. I don't know why you're making that face.
No, just because when I first graduated from college.
Oh, so you had that prior?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Neilan Videos.
Okay.
Because I only did video, and then I learned photography.
It's like you really caught Mike out of that one.
Yeah. No, it was prior.
Nice.
So, and it's a clear distinction rather than having.
Would you ever shift that over so it sounds like more weddingy or wedding-esque?
I would have, but I think I'm
too deep.
Yeah. Yeah. I did want to.
Yeah. What would you call it? If you were to change it, what would you call it? Neilan Weddings?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know because there's a lot of good names out there. Like people are really creative. But me being a college kid, I was like, well, I do videos and my last name's Neilan, so why not be Neilan Videos?
That's what most people do.
I know, it's true.
Yeah.
So I can't really knock myself. But then I changed it before I merged it with Focus Forward. So I still kept it my name. And then I was like, geez, do I really want to do like a third name change and make it something totally different? I'm really going to confuse people.
Do you feel like that brand ever interferes with Focus Forward?
No, I don't think so. What interferes in what way?
Well, just projects that come up.
No. I mean, I think, every company goes through their busy season. So like at the end of last year, we definitely ran a little behind on wedding videos and photos. Well, actually photos we never ran behind, but just wedding videos did run behind, but.
Definitely have to, when you get to September. It's tough.
And 2021 was pretty nuts.
True.
So.
True.
I don't think anybody was prepared for how crazy it was.
Yeah, people were pretty forgiving, I think.
Oh, yeah. I was maybe forgiving on behalf of our clients. But I was trying not to stress the team out. I remember literally a conversation. I was standing with Trent and Alexis, and they were not panicking, but they were stressed that we were going to be starting to fall behind. So they were let's just get the videos done. And I was like, no. We need to still put out quality.
Right.
We're not going to sacrifice these videos just to get them done by October 10th. And, I would rather them get a good product 3 weeks later. So.
Yeah, with we fell a little bit behind too this year, and I remember Jan was like he was stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's good that they are. It shows that like they care.
It's good, yeah, exactly. But like once you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah. God, I remember like how exciting it was when we finished that last 2021 video.
Wow, we're still working on it.
You'll get there.
We're close though.
How many?
I don't know, because it does jump around with like editors, but like once we hit the end of May, we'll be turning out videos like same week. So it's like it's compounding where we're catching up very fast.
That's good.
Yeah. So you'll probably get your wedding video probably like in June.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's great. And then what we should do, actually we were talking about doing a screening of, we did that California wedding.
Oh yeah.
And we were going to like watch it and like react to it. Thought that could be like some good content. Maybe we could do that for your video.
If you want, me and Monica are close. Invite us over for the first screening.
That'd be cool.
Right on the TV. Is that a TV out there? I forget.
It is a TV.
It is TV.
What's funny is
cool, right?
we had Maggie on the podcast, right? And she was sitting out in the waiting room and she's looking at the TV and she goes, wow, she's like, that art like looks exactly like a TV.
I remember.
She's like, that looks like it could almost be a TV.
You're like, yeah, it is.
And I was like, it is a TV. But she thought it was a legit painting.
That would be cool. Maybe when our video is finished, invite us over. We'll watch it.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Get some of the team together.
Anyway, we've been going about hour 15. You think, should we wrap?
I feel like we got a lot of great stuff.
A lot of great stuff, yeah.
That was a good
It was all
episode.
before Tiana got here.
Yeah, that's okay. She'll hear it.
Tiana, are the photos finished?
They really are.
I told you.
That's insane.
All right. Well, Mike, thanks again for being on another episode of Moving the Mountain. Check out Mike Neilan's work over at Focus Forward. You can find the Instagram handles. Do you want to kind of lay it out there?
Yeah, so our main brand is Focus Forward Media. That's our commercial video production, media production. And then our wedding brand is Neilan Media, Neilan. Neilan.
Awesome. Well, this has been another episode of Moving the Mountain, a creative leadership podcast. Thanks again for listening. You can check out our Instagram handles to follow us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Mike, thanks again. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. It's a good time. Adios.